Go Trekker! Go Flat Trekker! Go, go, go! The Kelpie Flat Track Pod is brought to you by our sponsors, Euroka Fencing, for all your rural fencing needs. Classic wheels and spokes and Otway hydro blasting. Make your old ride look new again. And shreddesign.co for the sickest jersey prints in the biz. Kelpie, keeping you on track for longer. Now let's get into the episode.
Oh, we'll start again because I got ahead of the computer. We'll get into it. We're here with young Tayio Aksu. Now I got that right. The second crack I've had at it. Yeah. So Tayio and I, we met each other at the AFTN, so Aussie Flat Track Nats, round 1 and 2, and back in July. How you going, mate?
Pretty good. That was pretty good meeting you at Flat Track Nationals. First event I actually done on flat track in who knows how long. It was a long time since I actually rode a dirt bike, so it was good to be back there. But
and
I'm doing great.
Had you actually ridden a 19-inch setup before?
No, it was first time. So first time on the 19s and first time on a 450.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'll get you to explain your backstory a little bit anyway, but you raced Aussie dirt track, so 2118 before, and were you on a 250, were you?
No, I didn't even do 2118.
Oh, didn't you?
I didn't even get to that stage. I got to so I did obviously all the junior ranks. So I did started on a Pee-wee 50, went to within a year of riding, I went to a CRO 50 and then a KTM 65. And I think that was at the end of I would have been around 6-7 years old. So I don't know what year that is.
All right. Stop there. Let's go backwards. Where were you born?
Japan.
In Japan, but you didn't grow up in Japan, did you?
No, about 4 years here in Japan, and then moved to Australia. So
yeah,
did most of my growing up in Australia. Yeah.
So is your mum or dad Australian? So one of your parents is Japanese, and one of your parents is Australian. Is that right? Or
yeah. That's right. So mum's Japanese, and I guess I don't actually have any Australian blood in me because dad is Turkish.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm not Australian at all, but yeah, I just mum and dad met in Australia, and home is Australia.
Yeah, cool. So you're an Australian citizen then? You would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm an Australian citizen. I got both passports, Japan and Australia. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I'd say Australian citizen.
So carry on. You got into bikes at a young age. Was that dad's influence or mum's influence?
Oh, mum hates it. So yeah, dad's influence.
yeah. You never know, because I always sort of assume that it's the dad. That was my case or my scenario. My dad sort of was always into bikes, and that's how we got into them. We never really got into racing though. Just mucking around down in empty paddocks on lawnmower bikes, and then A100s and all that sort of stuff, all the sort of weird road things on dirt mainly. And that's how we got into it. And mum sort of tolerated it. So, but I have met a couple of mums that actually were the racers lately. I've met them, and they were the racers, and the dad wasn't into it. So it's quite unusual. But anyway, in your scenario, it was dad that was into bikes. Was he an ex-racer or a racer at the time, or what's the story there?
Oh, no, dad never raced. He was just loved bikes, and he had a few bikes through his time, and but just rode around and probably broke a few laws. Probably broke a few laws doing some massive speeds, but yeah, he was just I guess he just loved bikes, and I even just from when I was little, we all used to watch MotoGP together, and I grew up right at the era where Marquez just moved to GP, and he was the big thing. And I guess after that, on my birthday, he bought me a motorbike. It was Christmas. Santa brought me a motorbike, and
don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for the little kids.
Santa brought me a motorbike, and off we went from there.
Yeah, beautiful. And so, did he take you down to a club, or you were just riding around in the backyard or a paddock, or? What was the
No, no,
story?
I was super lucky. I lived 5 minutes away from Mike Hatch's junior motorcycle club.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So yeah, on the Gold Coast. So yeah, really kind of just yeah. First, I started a little bit in this little backyard we had, and then from there, I started doing club days at Mike Hatch's.
yeah. Cool. And so, what's your sort of fondest memory of those days, if you can remember that far back? Because I know you've had a lot happen between now and then. So, what really made you want to carry on riding in that? Like, was it just the feeling of riding around on the motorbike that just made you feel free, or something? That's why you loved it so much, or I mean, it's pretty cool being a kid and being able to operate a vehicle, basically, without needing to go for licenses and all that sort of thing. What was it for you?
I think it was just the adrenaline. I
Yeah,
I guess you can call me an adrenaline junkie. I just love it, and it's just like it's almost just like a different world when you're on a bike. Like
yeah,
you're literally in control of everything, I guess. So I like that factor of it, and I just love the adrenaline you get from it. Just a rush. It's
yeah, cool.
nothing will be able to come close to it.
So, being an adrenaline junkie, does it have to have an engine, or you jump out of a plane or cliff diving? Anything
Yeah.
that sort of gives you that sensation?
Um. Well, I'd say I'm a pretty outdoor kid,
Yeah,
but I guess anything high speed I'm into.
yeah, righto.
So
Yeah.
even before I used to ride a bike, I did a bit of not much, but I liked BMX,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I was never good at it. I just like hill bombing, just going down hills real quick, and
I haven't heard that phrase before, hill bombing. Yeah, because
hill
that's
bombing.
yeah, basically a BMX. I actually raced BMX when I was younger too, and yeah, you start up on a hill. So, but I'd
Yeah,
never
yeah,
heard of it used like that. That term. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, hill bombing, and no, I just like I guess I like speed. I'm like Lightning McQueen. I am speed.
Beautiful. Yeah. So, you did your juniors at Mike Hatch's, and so did that lead into dirt track, or did you go stay on the pavement? You're a road racer now. We'll get into that a little bit later. I don't want to get into that too much right at the minute, but yeah, what was your path to where you are now? Did you do lots of dirt track? How did you get noticed?
Honestly, compared to some of the other kids, I didn't do much dirt track. I didn't do many Australian titles or anything. I did think one or two that I can count. And but I did just a lot of club days, I guess, club days and just practice. That's all it really was. Like at first, it wasn't really our intention to get this far deep into it and actually trying to make a career out of racing. It was kind of just for fun, and it wasn't really till like 3 years ago where he realized, yeah, I want to make a living out of this.
Yeah.
So I did, yeah, just a lot of like for a fair bit. The only two tracks I really rode at was the North Brisbane track, McDoon Raceway, and Mike Hatches.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. What was your favourite out of those?
Out of those two, it's got to be Mike Hatches.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't ridden either of them, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I do plan on getting up there, so
Yeah,
it'd be good. And they're both loose tracks, aren't they?
yeah, both loose tracks.
Yeah, yeah, cool. All right, so carry on. So into your dirt tracking, how old were you when that sort of stopped? And did someone say, "Hey, I reckon you'd be good on a road bike"? What happened there?
I'm not too sure what happened. I think from what I remember, it was um, the Littrus family, so Johnny and Aaron Littrus. They like kind of started going into road racing, and I, don't know, I got a set of supermoto tires from somewhere that we were able to put onto my KTM 65, and I went to. I'm not sure what it's called now, but it used to be called Small Wheel Sundays at a little like kart track right next to Lakeside Raceway.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I did that. I did that for a bit, and then yeah, that was only I would have only been around 9 years old then, and I think yeah, I did my first road bike race, which was at Broadford, the one that Mark Brax used to run. What was it, GP Juniors or something
Oh,
that everyone
okay.
used to do back then, and
Yeah.
did that on a supermoto KTM 65 supermoto.
Yeah, cool.
And then, but yeah, I didn't ride my first road bike till I was around. I would have been around 12, 13 years old. I got my first road bike, so
Yeah.
I haven't really been on a road bike for too long compared to like some of the other kids.
Yeah, so you sort of did motard until that 13 years old when you went onto a road bike. You just sort of use MX bikes, or
Oh, it was really like my junior, I guess, categories are real staggered. Like there was some, like most for about a year or so, it would have been a point where I only rode like twice in 6 months.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, so it was I didn't. It was kind of just like I'd just ride whatever I could whenever I could,
yeah,
and I'm not. I think I did that supermoto for a bit, but I was still like my main focus then was still dirt.
yeah.
Like I was just this supermoto thing's pretty cool, but I like dirt's my main focus, and then realized like dirt is fun and all, but all the like all the, if you want to make a career out of it, it's just road racing.
Yeah, the prestige is in road racing for sure. The prestige and money is in road racing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
no,
takes a lot, but if you make it, it gives back, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I bet it takes a lot, and I'm sure you can tell us a bit about that. So you've been on a journey for the last few years. So I suppose you did AS, ASBK over here in Australia. Is that right? How many years did you do that for? Was that part of the Blue Crew Cup, or was that before or after that got created?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually get to do the Blue Crew Oceania Cup, which I really wish I got to do it, but nothing that can be done now. But it was
Yeah.
I started my first year in ASBK was 2021, which like I don't even know if I can really call it a year. It was more of a COVID year with rounds whenever they could fit it in.
Yeah.
So I did my first year on a Yamaha R3 was also 2021. So really, like my first proper race was at ASBK. It was interesting. That was at Winton down in Victoria.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I did 3 rounds that year. I did Winton, Wakefield Park, and then the Bend, the very last round. And that was kind of where I found my feet on the road bike at Winton.
yeah,
No, Winton at the Bend.
yeah.
And yeah, from there after the Bend, I was pretty confident. I was confident, and like expected myself to be, I guess, in contention for the championship in 2022.
Right. So I don't think we mentioned you're 16 or you're 17 now.
16.
You're still 16, so you would have been what 14 then? Is that right? 13, 14?
Yeah. 13, 14,
And
14 years
so
old.
you hadn't really raced much at all from
No.
the sounds of it, especially on road. So how did you end up in that class and on that bike? Like that was the family friends said, "Hey, jump on this. We reckon you'll go all right." Or you, what happened?
It was more just like I just really enjoyed racing, and we kind of knew I was half good at it. Like I knew what I was doing,
Yeah.
and just from riding the R15 at these little kart tracks, and I was able to keep up with ASBK riders that are running in the front pack.
All right.
I was like, maybe if I did ASBK, I'll go half all right. And then yeah, we got the R3, and it was fairly close to what a front running ASBK bike would be. But I guess that's probably having that under par equipment probably made me an even better rider. So
Yeah, I actually I'm a strong believer in that. A lot of the good riders seem to be, and you'll hear a lot of people say, "Oh, that guy he can ride anything. He can jump on from one and onto the other, and he can ride it." And I think it's because it makes you so adaptable. Like you have to adapt to make it go fast. Would you agree with that? Like, so if you've got an underpowered bike, you've got to find every way to make it go fast, whether it's holding the throttle full through the corner, whether it feels great or not.
Yeah.
or yeah, maybe just moving your body weight or something to make it feel a bit better. Do you sort of, or you just said before that you reckon that it was a part of the key, but you obviously had a bit of a knack as I sort of hate when people say the natural thing, but you obviously do have a bit of a natural feel on the bike. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you are now. And because you've progressed pretty quick, that's only a couple years, and now you're riding for a team in Japan. It's, have I got this right? JP Dogfight Racing, is that right?
Yeah, Team JP Dogfight Racing.
Yeah, cool. And are they all Japanese, or are they mixed cultures, like the management side of it and that, or it's just a purely Japanese-based race team?
No, they're just full Japanese race team. So everything's Japanese. I just kind of got a lucky break into there with the Yamaha program that I guess the Blue Crew program Yamaha's doing this year.
Yep.
And I also had a bit of a leeway into there through another connection in Australia. Tommy Lay from Triple M Motorcycles, he knew a few people, so he really made it happen for me this year.
Yeah, cool. So before we get into more of that, let's get into how did I meet you at a flat track race in Australia? What's the go there? You were riding for APO, is that right? For Trent O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and Trent and the boys and that have a fair bit to do with road racing. So I'm guessing that's the connection. Is that how you met them?
Yeah, that's how I met them. So I was probably met them around 4 years ago or so. Known them for a bit now, and Trent started helping me out, I guess, in my first year of ASBK.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty close ever since. And they just me and Tyler, one of the boys, are just looking at the dates and going, "Hey, I'm going to be in Australia for this." It was like it's the week after I landed in Australia, and he said, "Oh, well, if you can get down to Kempsey, we can get you on a bike." I was like, "Sweet." So I flew back into Australia, and then Mum drove me down to Kempsey the next day.
Oh, your mum drove you down?
Yeah,
the parent that's not too keen on the racing.
Well, yeah, Mum wasn't too keen on it, but I think she's just kind of I guess it's just she just knows. I guess she thinks she knows I'm a lot happier on a bike than I am anywhere else, and she just wants to see me happy, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
yeah, awesome. So, mum did a great job getting you down there. And why were you actually in Australia? Just visiting your parents, or was
it was like a 2-month mid-season break, and if I stayed in Japan, I'd be doing nothing, and if I come back to Australia, I can see Mum and Dad and my whole family. So it was just kind of wanted to come back for a little bit.
Yeah, and you'd have schoolmates and that over here too, wouldn't you? That you still want to hang out with and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So you came down to Kempsey. Appin. Sorry, we were at Appin. You came down to Appin and you gave flat track a go. So on the American setup for your first time, I'm assuming on a 450, you said, for the first time. And what do you reckon?
No, it was different, but it was definitely different, but it was probably the most fun I've had on a flat track bike in so long. The first time I went out on it, I felt so weird. I'm like, the rear is sliding so much. And I was kind of just strolling around, and I went to Kempsey like the week. Oh no, I was in Kempsey. That's where all the APO shop is.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Jared and Jared Brooks and some of the other APO riders.
Oh, yeah.
And we were kind of joking around saying that they're going to be cutting laps in the warm-up and I'm going to be out bush off the track. And it pretty much the exact thing happened. And like two or three laps into warm-up, I was sliding into a corner and then it just gripped up on a pothole. I was straight off. I went bush, and then as I'm trying to get back on the track, I see Jared fly past. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah.
So
that was
you went down to Kempsey. Sorry, your mum drove you to Kempsey, and then they brought you over to Appin, did they?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah. So you didn't get to have a ride at Kempsey on the oil track there or anything like that?
Nah,
All right. No preparation, just throw you in the deep end.
pretty much. That's kind of been my whole. That's been my whole racing career, pretty much.
It's not bad though, is it? Like, yeah, you find your
No.
feet pretty quick anyway. So,
Yeah.
I was having a look at, or what was it? I think Cycle News or something. I was reading some articles about you, and that sounds like that you're pretty good at adapting and finding your feet pretty quick. Which is, if in your game, what you're trying to achieve, or what I'm assuming you're trying to achieve, you definitely want that ability.
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
It's a good skill to have.
yeah, you went out. You ended up in B group, I think, didn't you?
Yeah. 450
And you're
B.
sort of mid pack, which isn't bad. I mean, these guys aren't. They're not. That was, I think, it was about 21-second laps still, which is
Yeah.
it's a quick lap time, and especially on a bike that you. Was it set up for you, or you just sort of just got on it?
No.
You just
It's
got
kind
on
of just here you go. Here's a bike, and I was like,
it.
sweet, it's a bike. It's got
Yeah.
wheels and a throttle. I can figure it out.
Yeah, and you did. Yes, no,
Yeah. So it was
that's good. Good results when you piece that whole story together. Yeah, that's really good results. I mean, if everyone wants to go out and win, but
yeah.
it's not that easy, and especially, I don't think people really appreciate how fast our riders are here in dirt track and flat track. You were amongst, the. I was going to say the cat amongst the pigeons, but I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
The pigeon amongst the cats.
Yeah, I was just
you're
like,
definitely in the deep end.
yeah, I just straight into the deep end, and I went out in the first warm up, and I was like, oh, these guys are so quick. 'Cause I was in I was in the group with Jared and Jared Brooks and Michael Kirkness and stuff, and I just watched them come around the outside, and I was like, oh, these guys are so quick.
It's hard to figure out how or where they are getting that extra time. That's what I struggle with. I'm sort of going, we've all got similar setups. How are they getting that extra traction? Like that's what I think when I get passed by guys like that, because I feel like I'm going pretty hard. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, I think
how are
I'm
they
going
getting
pretty
that?
good.
How they, because every time I try to go harder, the back end either steps out way too much, or so I think a big part of it is entry speed. I think the harder you can enter, obviously the quicker your lap times are going to be, and then the getting out's the hard part, I think. But
Yeah,
controlling that wheel spin, and especially with so it had surface on your qualifying sessions, didn't it? And then it started sort of grooving up in blue, or what we call in flat track blue grooving, so rubber's getting down, and it didn't become too one-lined. I think there was a couple passing opportunities, but you sort of had to be on it, didn't you?
Yeah, you kind of if you wanted to make a pass, you kind of had to set it up like 2 laps prior. So I guess in that way, it was similar to road, where you can't just bang go for a pass. You have to set it up.
Yeah,
and with the blue groove, the way it was gripping was almost similar to road.
Yeah,
but,
the profile of those tyres compared to our Australian 2118 or 2119-inch setup, the profile of the 19-inch setup tyres is a lot more similar to road racing. Like, you could go out on a road circuit and cut laps on those, no worries, I'm sure of it. And they might not be as good as road race slicks, but you'd still be able to do it, get a bit more lean angle than you would on a trials tyre anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's almost like a wet road tire. That's what it's like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and would you say a big part of that racing and racing in the AFTN, your racecraft would really have to come into play there? Did you find that you're saying, you had to sort of set up if you wanted to pass someone, you were having to think ahead? Do you think that was a big key of the weekend? And did you have great battles with anyone? Was there someone that you were just battling with the whole time you wanted to get around?
It wasn't. It was kind of like that. It was more. Yeah, it was just really having to think 2 laps ahead and know you have to be really deliberate with your actions.
Yeah.
And I think me and Mackenzie both we had a couple of good battles. Yeah, my main goal was just have fun. Like I was, after the first warm up, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a fun weekend.
Yeah, sweet.
Like
Yeah.
I think at first I was putting way too much pressure on myself. Like, oh, I gotta do good, and I'm like, and then I thought about it. I just sat back and thought about it. I was like, I've never ridden this bike, never been on a 450, never been on 9. There's so many like first time things that I kind of just stopped worrying about it. I was like, I'll just have fun.
Yeah, and that's really at the end of the day, that's why you were there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, doing a different experience like that, I wonder how did it affect your racing when you went back to a road bike? Did it make you think about your racing any differently?
Not really. It was more like I was taking what I had learned on road and then putting it to dirt.
Yeah, okay.
So it was
Yeah,
almost like the other way around.
yeah,
But then, I guess like, even over here, we train on dirt bikes sometimes or whenever we can. So
yeah,
it definitely will help when we get to, I guess, a bigger bike like a 600 or a super bike where you'll actually have the rear sliding around a whole lot more.
yeah.
And I guess, being able to slide the bike like you would on flat track definitely will come into play there.
So at the moment you're on a 300, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, road bike. And so they don't have enough ponies to sort of get the wheels sliding like that when through the corners, or I'm sure
Nah.
the track was slick enough, it would.
Yeah, you could definitely get it real sliding, and I've seen a few people do it, but it's definitely not the fastest way around on these bikes.
Yeah,
These the R3 or anything below a 300 to a 300 is really just carry as much corner speed as possible,
yeah,
and just you want your it's not you really just want your average speed to be high.
yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah,
just carry as much corner speed as possible, and just I guess on the exit it does start sliding a little bit, but not like you would see on a 1,000 or a 600 where you have the bike almost like sat up completely and the rear sliding. It's more you're
yeah,
still
okay.
on full bank and it's just kind of sliding out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so with Appen, you got through day one all in one piece, and then actually, I met you before I met you properly.
Yeah.
So I was doing some filming on the infield, and day two was the TT, and someone came a cropper on one of the left-handers there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, how's your
Yeah.
finger?
Oh, it's better now. It's I'm getting a bit more movement back into it, but yeah, that wasn't fun. That was for sure. That was a
And,
big yeah.
and how was the team when did you ring them up or tell them that you broke your finger, or they still don't know?
Oh, I didn't. I said I broke my finger, but I didn't really tell them how.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
but they said as long as I can ride, they don't care. So I was like, yeah, right, sweet.
Yeah, right. So did you
But
say, oh, yeah, I was flat track racing?
yeah, I was racing dirt. I was riding a dirt bike. I fell off and broke my finger. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
like, sweet. Did you get a video of me high siding?
No, I think I was filming the guys.
Oh,
I think I got you go past the camera, and you
yeah,
did it,
yeah.
but you did it behind me. I think, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because
bummer.
I stopped filming, stood up, and you were on the ground or picking your bike up.
Yeah, no, that one. It took the wind out of me. It took me a while to get back up.
So
I'm not.
you high sided, did you? How'd you break your finger
Yeah,
then?
yeah. I'm not too sure. Like, we're actually still like me and then the other guys are still like a bit confused on how I crashed. I think when because like you go, it's like it goes into like the left hander starts off real flowy and then it really tightens up.
Yeah.
I think as I've laid the bike down to try wash the speed off, I just bit too much rear brake and then just stalled the bike and kind of locked up.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And
That'll
then
do it.
then I just flew over and just instinct. I put my hands on the ground and my finger just got caught and pulled the wrong way.
Yeah, and if you did that in combination with shutting the throttle off too much as well, yeah, you might have stalled the bike and spat you off.
It was definitely I didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
Now, so my question to you is: on a road bike through a corner, would you ever shut the throttle off?
No, not if you really, really have to.
No, that's
He
right. So
really,
why did you on a flat track bike? Because it's the same principle. Especially with 19s, if you can just keep it rolling, it doesn't have to be way up in the revs, but if you can keep it rolling, you won't do that again. Yeah.
yeah. I've definitely learned that now. I was like, won't do that again.
Yeah. Oh, look, we all come off, and it's the better you get, and the more times you're riding, the less times you come off, I believe. But that still happens. I've had a couple that I can't really explain either, and you just sort of think that shouldn't have happened, but it did.
Yeah, it was pretty funny as well because the night before I was talking to Jared and Tyler and Christian and well, like, and when someone said something, and I was like, it was something to do with like someone who do you reckon will crash and warm up tomorrow as a joke. And, and yeah, it turned out to be me. So I was that guy.
Yeah, so you jinxed yourself, basically.
Yeah, I'm pretty jinxed myself pretty good.
Yeah, there's a few things we don't talk about around the track, especially the day before, and one is definitely crashing. Whether it's
jinx myself.
Whether it's in practice or racing or whatever, avoid it at all cost. I think it's a good idea. Yeah. Was flat track something you were interested before, or it's just not so much racing, but like, do you watch it, the American stuff and that as well, or is it mainly road racing, and you just love road racing?
No, yeah, I actually still follow a bit of flat track in America. Obviously we've got, I guess Tom Drain and Max over there right now having a go at the AMA series.
Yeah,
and I still follow what's going on over there. But then I probably watch, definitely watch road racing a lot more. And but I look at some of the speeds the guys are doing in America, and I'm like, well, that's almost what we're doing on the road. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is pretty insane.
So,
they do have, they do have some pretty big tracks over there too, though. Like, I think their mile track is double our trotting tracks over here, which we think are big and fast. So
yeah.
Imagine doubling that. It'd be awesome. I'd love to have a crack on one. On a twin.
Yeah, no.
I've never ridden a twin in that style, but I'd love to have a go on a twin. I think it's a lot harder than I think it would be, but I don't know. I just something about it. I think it's have you ever seen On Any Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because of that, because that's the first time I ever saw flat tracking in America on that movie.
I haven't actually seen that. I haven't actually seen the new old one. I've only seen the new one.
Oh, have you?
So,
You've got to watch
it.
You got to watch the old one.
I'll get to that tonight.
Yeah, sweet. So racing for a team, you're 16, you're not living with your family, you're living on your own, or you're living with your overseas family, aren't you? Are you with your race team, or are they actually relatives that you're living with, or?
No, it's just there was one of the connections in the race team knew a family that were, I guess, hosting a homestay.
Oh, yeah.
And it really worked perfect for me. It's like it's pretty close to the team, right near all the some of the areas I can practice at. So it worked real good for me, and I was able to find a job nearby as well. So everything kind of worked in my favor.
Oh, so that's interesting. Is well, it'd have to be a part-time job, wouldn't it? How's that work?
I guess it's kind of part-time, mostly full-time. It's the place I work for is real supportive of my racing. So whenever I need time off, they let me go. So
yeah,
it's definitely helps a lot and helps pay some of the bills. It's not cheap. So
yeah, no, it's not. So what are you doing for work? Can I ask that? Is that all right?
Yeah. I work at a car dealership, washing cars. So like at the back, just getting all the cars clean when they come in, etc. Yeah, detailing. Yeah, that's cool. What I'm a car detailer.
Yeah, cool. So, do you still have to do schoolwork as well, or on top of that, or you've officially left school?
I really didn't want to leave school, like, believe it or not, but I guess it kind of just came to where I just wouldn't have had the time, and I definitely helps to have the job just so I can pay some of the bills over here.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I don't come from much money, like definitely not rich like some of the other guys. So it definitely helps to have a job, and I guess it's kind of another sacrifice I had to make. And at first, mum and dad were completely against me leaving school to pursue racing full time, but mum and dad kind of realized as well that there's a lot more ways I can get into university if I want to afterwards.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, for now I've kind of just put school on pause and just focusing full time on racing.
Yeah, well, while the opportunity's there, you may as well, isn't it? I mean, you're
Yeah, definitely.
most likely only going to get that opportunity once, so take it and see where it leads, and that's what you're
Yeah,
doing by the sounds of it. So, how
yeah.
has your results been? You're racing in is it the sort of equivalent to the Australian Superbike Series, but in Japan? Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and where can that lead? Do those guys like your team managers and that? Is it? Or let me start again. Is it a big team you're with, or are they sort of a smaller team in the scale of things, but do have good contacts and leads for you? Or yeah, how's all that sort of
Um,
things work? Or you don't think
yeah,
about it, you
in
just
the
ride.
no, I definitely do think about it. Like I don't have a manager or anything. I have a lot of people help me out with management, but it's kind of up to me and dad to find like where the pathways are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess in the big scheme of things, this team that I'm with now isn't too big. It's more the opportunity that Yamaha are giving me. It's so this year Yamaha just started a program. I guess yeah, the Blue Crew program, and they selected 6 riders from different teams, and they provide the R3, and it's all kind of like a control bike, sort of.
Yeah.
Obviously, different teams can put different parts and whatnot onto each bike. And then, yeah, from those 6 riders, Yamaha would choose one to go to the European R3 Cup,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
then they'll support the other riders to do, I guess, pursue um, something else in Japan,
Oh, yeah.
whether that be do this class again on the R3 or move up to a 600, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's really the only reason I came to Japan, just to be in this, I guess, Yamaha program, because I guess yeah, in Australia there wasn't much like support coming from Yamaha, and I guess the all the manufacturers and whatnot are all in Japan. So once the opportunity was there, I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah,
And so that's not really it's not really a lose situation there, is there? Because you're either going to end up in having another crack on a 300, or end up on a 600, or end up in Europe.
yeah, well, yeah. Either way, I do want to be on a 600. I'm getting to that stage where I'm pretty bit too big for a 300, and
Yeah.
it definitely it's not fun down the straights. But yeah, there's not really a lose situation. I'm getting a lot of help from Yamaha, and I'm making so many important connections over here and meeting so many people. It's great.
Yeah, and it must be a hell of an experience. I can't imagine. I was doing other things when I was 16. I can't imagine being that focused at 16 and giving it a crack. So hats off to you, mate. It's an awesome effort, and I don't think you're going to regret it at all. At worst, you'll look back on those years and sort of go, "How awesome was that?" You know, not everyone
Yeah,
gets to do that. So yeah, great work. I
yeah, yeah.
was wondering actually when you were talking there. I'm a bit of a multi-thinker. I'm not very good at multitasking, but I can think and pay attention at once somehow, sort of. Uh, but I was thinking, have you ever danced with the idea of going to America and racing in flat track with, like JD Beach, who was a road racer? Well, there's plenty of guys that are road racers in there. James Rispoli, just to name a couple that do they go and do the road racing, but for some reason come back to dirt track or flat track.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself if someone said, "Hey, Tayio, we've got a ride for you. We'll pay you to ride in the singles." Would you be there? Or would you go,
Mate, if anyone wanted to pay me for a ride, I'll do it. But no, honestly, like me and Dad have had that conversation a few times where, like, obviously, dirt racing, it like must be a bit cheaper than road racing, and we've had that conversation where, like, if we just can't do road racing anymore, where do we want to just we'll make the switch to dirt and try pursue dirt?
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, I guess I'm not too sure how it is in the scheme of thing on dirt, but from what it looks like, I guess top level is America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if I got that opportunity to go race America and race the Moto America Road Series and do the Dirt Series, I would just take that as well. Like,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
did get that opportunity, I'll
I
be
think that
kicking
would
myself if
be
I didn't.
yeah, I think that would be your best bet, especially in, let's say the next couple years. Hopefully, one of the things, I don't know how much you know about me, but one of the things I'm pushing for is Australia to, have that sort of professional element in dirt track racing on 19s. So sort of following suit of America and Great Britain and other countries around the world that are trying to elevate the sport as well. And obviously, with the FIM as well now, I don't think there's really any money in that. That's not factual though. I haven't fact checked that. But if you want to make money from the sport, 100% America's the place to go. But
Yeah.
I do hope that will change. Whether it changes in time for you, I don't know. But
Yeah.
it may by the time that you've done your road path and let's say it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, and you're looking for that switch, maybe we're there and you can race back home in Australia and make a bit of an income. And I'm not talking, about becoming a Valentino Rossi out of the sport money wise, that sort of stuff. I'm just talking about, the equivalent to a full time job or something like that, but to
Or
go
just
and race.
being able to ride a motorbike and make money on as well is just that would just be a dream for me. Like not losing money racing. It's just that I would be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think it's 100% possible, and we've already started doing it. I don't know did you meet Zane and Brendan, the Kelpie riders under our pit shade?
I didn't get to meet. I've met Zane before. He raced the round or two of ASBK, the road series.
Yeah.
So I knew him from there, but no, I didn't meet the other rider.
Yeah, so they're I actually pay them to ride, so they're already living the dream.
Oh, they're living the dream. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty proud of that because I think we're the first guys to be doing that in Australia, as far as I know. Other than prize money, so they actually get paid whether they get prize money or not, and that's I hope bigger companies and businesses will take that on board and give more riders that opportunity as well. And the more my company grows, the more riders we'll employ and keep pushing these series to get bigger and helping the AFTN. I have nothing to do with the Aussie Flat Track Nationals on the organisational side. That's all Dave Maddock. But 100% support it because I think it's an awesome sport. I love all motorcycle sports, but I don't know. There's something about flat track that just really floats my boat, and I think it's also seems to be the discipline that gets thrown under the carpet the most, like swept under the carpet, and you don't hear about it as much. So maybe I'm just a sucker for the underdog. I'm not sure, but that's a journey. So you never know. You might be able to come back and race for me in a couple of years or something, and. There we go. Yeah, well, hopefully now you did. I hope I'm not throwing you in the deep end here. You did say to me you might be coming back around the Taree round. Is that still on the card?
Yeah. It's definitely still on the cards. I haven't really talked to Trent from APO much about it.
Yeah,
but he definitely did throw the idea in the air where I'm back. I'm actually back in time. I think I come back 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, and in between that, I'm going to the Bend Motorsport Park in South Australia for a test on a 600.
Oh, yeah.
So then it's on the way back. I was just thinking that we could swing by and race Tari as well.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I don't know, after the fun I had at the first round, it would be stupid if I didn't come back and race that one as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little bit more similar to motard and road racing as well, being an
Yeah,
oil
yeah.
track. But I've never raced Taree there, but raced on other oil tracks, and yeah, I think you'll adapt to that even quicker.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another. It'll be good to go back to oil track because yeah, my first ever Australian title I raced was at an oil track, the Gunnedah oil track.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that
and,
was back in I think 2016,
yeah, right.
and yeah,
Did
that
you
was
win?
again.
Did
Nah,
you win it?
nah, didn't win it, but it was properly like proper throwing me into the deep end. So yeah, the story was just Dad asked me, "Do you want to race Aussie titles?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll race Aussies," and didn't know that it was going to throw me straight into the deep end. And I remember, so it was my first ever race, like first ever actual ride on an 85. So I'd never ridden an 85 before. We put the sticker kit on the night before at the caravan park, and I roll up to the grid for I think it was warm up or qualifying. I look next to me, there's Senna Aduas and Jacob Rolston and all these like riders that have won Aussie titles and that are just. I looked at it and I was like, these guys are so quick. And I look back at Dad and he's just gone.
Get
it was
into it, son.
yeah, it was baptism by fire, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Um, yeah, I was thinking before with your road racing and that and your team, what sort of role do they play? Do they like have you on a diet? Do they organise your training sessions? Like, do they give you a personal trainer and that sort of thing and say, this is what we want you doing, this is your program? Or is that all up to you?
No, that's all up to me. So the team outside of the outside of the track, they don't really have too much to do with me.
Yeah,
So yeah, all my training, dieting is yeah really all up to me. And like yeah, being on my own here, I don't have mum or dad pushing me to do it, so it's really up to me.
yeah,
And it's sometimes yeah, it's definitely hard to find the I guess the maturity and the I guess the enthusiasm to go do it without being pushed. But then I look at the bigger picture. I'm like, oh, I'm here. It's almost my job to go do all this, and
yeah.
I know in the long term I'm going to start seeing the results of it. So it's definitely hard to keep pushing myself to do it, but I definitely try my hardest and go do it whenever I can.
So that's your main motivation. You just say to yourself, "Oh, I've got this opportunity. I don't want to waste it. So put the work in." Have I got that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And so, what are you doing? Are you pretty intense or you're a bit relaxed? Like you're a pretty relaxed character anyway. I feel.
I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not with all those like influencers you see on TikTok and YouTube and stuff where they're like super dieting and you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Like obviously I'm still a kid. I'm gonna eat my little snacks here and there. I'm gonna have my cheat days and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I still like keep myself as fit as I possibly can and like do as much as I can with what I've got. Like I don't have a push bike or anything over here, so I just for my cardio I just run and
Yeah.
skip.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Skipping's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, skipping's great. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, just jogging, a lot of jogging.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, I just do as much as I possibly can and keep myself fit. And I don't eat much. Yeah, just with diet and whatnot, just try stay away from like real sugary foods and fatty foods, and yeah, just really just keep myself lean. That's my main goal.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds a bit sensible, Teo.
Yeah, yeah.
You're really 16 or are you pulling my leg?
No, I'm really 16.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I do get that a lot.
and you've got a mate sitting next to you that our listeners and listeners definitely won't see, but our viewers can't
No,
see. Do you want to give us a look at him again? You showed me earlier.
oh, he's run off now. I'll try to
Oh,
get
has he ran
Rex.
off?
Rex. No, he's gone.
He's even got an Aussie name. You didn't bring him over from Aussie, did you?
No, it was here when I got here.
Yeah. So Tayo's got a border collie there with him, which I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
sur-
He's.
I don't know why I
I
was
try getting
surprised
back.
that there's a border
Yeah.
collie in Japan, but yeah, I sort of was.
No, it's just he's like he's like my best friend over here.
Yeah, sweet.
Uh, I get home and he's the first one that runs down and jumps up at me. So
So have you made some mates over there? Like, what about your teammates? Do you hang out after the riding and after being at the track, or is it all every man for themselves, and you've just got to make friends over there through work and social or whatever?
yeah, I've got my teammate Ray Tashima. He's a bit older than me. He's on the super bike, so
Yeah,
we we get along at the track and whatnot, but don't really do too much outside of the track. But then, yeah, I guess my Yamaha teammates that are all in like the blue crew together, we're all like I guess pretty close, and we sometimes go out outside the track. Like we'll go out for lunch, or we all train together as well. So
oh yeah,
that's all good. And yeah, I guess it was almost like another bonding experience when we went to Thailand. Just 3 weeks ago to race in the Thailand R3 Cup,
yeah.
and yeah, four of us went over to Thailand and stayed at the same hotel, and that was all. It was all fun. So yeah, they're probably. I guess yeah, outside the track, I don't have too many mates, but like at the track and riders from the track, I do get along with a lot.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because I imagine it could get pretty lonely otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
especially not having mum and dad there. Do you Zoom call them or message chat them a fair bit or?
No, yeah, I do. I FaceTime mum and dad. Talk to. I guess yeah, me and dad were pretty close. So um, yeah, it was a bit hard moving away from dad, and I guess dad's a warrior. He worries a lot, and he worries if I'm alright. He worries about the bike. He worries about the team, and but then mum's more like he's in Japan. It's a safe country. Mum's more relaxed about it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I definitely talk to dad a lot more than I do mum. Because mum's more like, yeah, well, yeah, I know you'll be alright. So
Yeah, all right.
yeah,
That's interesting.
dad's like, yeah, dad's like, he's my dad, but he's also like my best friend. So it's always good. It was definitely, I do get homesick sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure you
It,
do. How long have you been there now?
all up, I've been in Japan around 7 months or so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not that long. Yeah.
Yeah, not too long, but
Yeah.
definitely longest I spent away from mum and dad. So
Yeah. Well, I just mean, because I've got my eldest daughter is in London at the moment, and she's been there just coming up to a year. And I was talking to her the other day and saying, because I moved from Christchurch, New Zealand to Melbourne, Australia, and I had my mum here with me for a while, and then she went off doing her own things with jobs and stuff, and then I was on my own. And yeah, I reckon it probably took a year and a half before I stopped, having those waves of homesickness. Like you're good for a month or
yeah,
so, and then you sort of start missing home again a bit, and
yeah,
you're
yeah,
good for another month or 2 months, and the gaps sort of get longer.
yeah. That's it. Really, it's just
Yeah.
I was all right for like the first month or so, but then after the first, I had a pretty tough first round, and after the first round, I was a bit started beating myself up a bit and had no one to, like felt like I had no one to talk to. Even though I can FaceTime mum and dad and I talk to them, it's definitely different talking to them in person.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I got pretty homesick in between just for a little bit, but then I kind of just like had to get over myself. I was like, I got to get on with it. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
must be really mentally challenging to do that. Not just because of your age, but um, for anybody to I think so. You sort of said to me about feeling like a pro athlete earlier. Well, you are a pro athlete, whether you're getting the monetary reward yet or not. You're doing what pro athletes have to do, and I think most of us don't really realise how bloody hard it is. Like it's not fun, having to watch what you eat. If you look at, especially in American the Supercross and that sort of stuff, the way they train and diet and when you're here, I think that's sort of the great insight of podcasting is when you hear interviews with them and that, and they might have, like you say, a cheat day or a cheat week, and how much they enjoy that because of the slog that every other day is. I think, it's really underestimated what you're doing, and whether it doesn't matter what discipline you're doing it in. I think you've taken on a huge challenge, man, and looks like it sounds like that you're really embracing it and gonna make the most of it, whichever the result you get. And I think it's going to be pretty positive from the way you're approaching it. Every time you get knocked down, you just got to remember that there's always a bright side to it, and keep pushing forwards like you are, and before you know it, something's happened. Who knows what it's going to be? It might be racing in America, might be carrying on in the Asian Cups. Were the Fleming brothers in Thailand? Do you know them at all from Melbourne?
Boris and what was his little brother's name? Yeah, Tyrion.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
couldn't.
No, they're in Spain this year. Yeah, me and Boris raced. Yeah, we raced in 2021 together in the ASBK Championship, and he's another one from Australia to probably keep an eye on. He's getting pretty good pretty quick. So
yeah, they're going well. I follow him a bit. So I know their dad. I raced with Ricky a fair bit, and they were all Harley Club members as well. So, but I always talk to Ricky a lot more than the boys. The boys were quite young then, and now they're growing up. And we talk a little bit, but still not heaps. But watching them, and I can't keep track of where they are. They're all over the shop. I thought that I saw him up on the podium last weekend or something. I thought it might have been one of those rounds, but I don't follow road racing at all, so I can tell you about what's going on in that American flat track, a little bit about the Canadian stuff, and obviously here at home. But road racing, I was hoping to have Tom Northey was going to come on as well. He does a bit of work for Yamaha in Australia. I thought he would probably have a few more interesting questions for you because he knows a bit about the road racing stuff. The same with Brendan McCower, who co-hosts with me sometimes. He's right into the road racing. On the side of his trailer, he turns his tally round and has a GP and all that going, and that when we're out at the track and stuff. So it is cool. Yeah. I like watching it. I'm just not into all the stats, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm not quite into the road racing. I love road riding, like I love riding road bikes. I had a GSX 1100 when I was a bit younger, and that was awesome. Nice and fast, and I can get a knee down and stuff, but it's a bit like cricket. I like playing backyard cricket, but I don't really watch it.
That's exactly it, isn't it? The MotoGP now, it is really hard to watch it and enjoy it. It is almost like just a one bike championship with Ducati being so strong.
Is it? Yeah, right.
I guess even with me, I don't even bother watching some of the races anymore. I just look at the results afterwards.
What about the other classes? Because I think, is it Moto 2 and Moto 3? They have some pretty close contested races, don't they?
Yeah. Moto 3 and Moto 2 are great. I think I watched the last round of Austria on the weekend, and Moto 3 and Moto 2 are like, you didn't want to take your eyes off it. And then Moto GP, I was struggling to stay awake. So
it's a shame, isn't it? Because and I feel that happens across a lot of disciplines and a lot of different types of sports. When it gets to that tippy top, that real elite, it's so clean that it's almost boring.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
AFL gets a little bit like that. I feel like you do get good games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it makes it shit, but it's, I don't know. I just don't think it's quite as exciting as I prefer to watch the AFLW, and it's not just because it's chicks. It's a bit rougher. It's not quite as tidy. They make mistakes, and then incidents and reactions to those mistakes, it's more interesting, I think. And it's similar
Yeah,
with the racing too. I mean, even on our club days, everyone goes running up to the gate to watch, up to the fence to watch. Like we have grades down in Victoria, so C grade, which is basically all the people finding their feet, and they're like this everywhere, all over all over the track,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
know there's going to be a stack or a collision, or
yeah.
it's a lot more exciting.
But yeah, that's it in the 300 class. Hey, like Phillip Island, we would have like 15 riders in the front group for 6 laps, and it's I would come in after a race, and I would have to spend like we would come home from a race week, and I'd have to spend like an hour just scrubbing away at the bike, getting all the tire marks off it, and like it's just so much rubbing.
It's awesome.
Like especially like tracks like Phillip Island where it's so high speed, but then it's all about slipstream, so the group is massive, and it's just completely just bumping and bumping, and I guess rubbing is racing, right? So
Yeah, and the great thing about the classes like that is those bikes, they all have certain rules, so they're pretty closely contested, aren't they? Like no one's allowed to go and spend 10 grand extra than another team, are they? And put
no,
parts on it that no one else can afford or anything like that. So it's so even. It's basically like getting out on a whole bunch of CRF 150Fs and
yeah,
leaving
yeah,
them stock. And it comes down to racecraft some rider smarts, I guess, which racecraft is anyway, basically. But just thinking, how can I get around this faster than the other dude? Or do you use slipstreaming a lot, like as a strategy? Like,
yeah.
so
Well,
plan,
that's pretty much all 300 racing. It's just slipstream.
yeah, and so
I don't.
plan those moves or where you're going to pass a few
Yeah,
laps beforehand, like you were saying, and that's why you have to do that, though, don't you? Because you don't have the power to get around otherwise.
yeah. Well, like I don't actually think I know a track in Australia that if you lead out of the last corner, apart from the Bend, motorsport park in South Australia, I don't think there's a track in Australia. If you're in a big group, if you lead out of the last corner, I don't think you'll get to the line first. Like
Yeah,
it's
okay,
just
yeah,
like it's 300s, and even the Oceania Junior Cup, the Blue Crew Cup, is just all about slipstream. Yeah, that's what I think is really good because it
yeah.
teaches you just that much racecraft, and it really like I guess from there it really just shows who's got the best racecraft and who is really like the best person to move up into the bigger classes like the superbikes.
Yeah, so did you race Tom at all, Tom Drain?
Yeah, I did. I raced him for like 3 rounds that COVID year.
Yeah,
The 2021. So
and
I raced him in the 300 class. Yeah,
how was he on a road bike?
quick.
Was he? Yeah, right.
That's one way to put it. Quick, very
Yeah,
quick.
right.
Like
So,
he's another rider. He just knew what he was doing, and he can almost like just watching it. He can step off anything onto something else and just be straight on it. I remember he came back from America or something and came straight to Morgan Park to race Australian superbikes, and he's like top 5. And I was like, wow. He
yeah, right.
just he just jumps off a completely different discipline onto another.
Yeah, well, I think, and you hear Scotty Doobler, the voice of American Flat Track, talk about it, and Corey Texter, and on the pods and stuff, and they sort of didn't know how he would go across all the different track variants, but obviously that road racing experience and racing the 300s and that would teach him how to slipstream on the miles and that sort of stuff. Our Aussie dirt track would have, and if he did, I'm not sure if he'd done much oil track, but they would all teach him how to deal with the slippery and different surfaces of the shorter tracks. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
he had it pretty well covered. And like you said, he's sort of just another one of those annoying guys that can jump from one thing to another.
yeah. It was same like Cameron Dunker. Like he jumps from he's just fast on anything really. Like you give him a bike, it's got a wheel and throttle. He's quick on it. So it's just they're they're the best riders, the most annoying ones to ride with. Which no, it's good for the sport as well. Like seeing it just makes every discipline grow. Like you see, it's like you're very interested in dirt racing, but then like you watch Tom and then see that he's going to race road. It just helps everything grow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, look, I used to watch the Isle of Man every time it was on the TT. That race fascinates me that it still goes, and yeah, obviously people lose their life there and all that sort of stuff, and it still goes. That's just those couple little facts fascinate me, and then just the whole sort of race format's quite different than anything else. Yeah, I quite enjoy that sort of stuff. And another one that I really like watching is the European sidecar cross. Have you ever watched any of that? So,
No, I haven't.
oh man, you got to have a look.
Have a look.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I really want to try
It
to
sounds
find
hectic.
it. I want to try to find some on screen sharing and on YouTube. Shall I see if we can do it? I'm not very good at this. Have you got patience?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have to go? I'll see if I can do it.
No, I got all the time in the world. I've finished work. All I got to do now is sleep.
All you've got to do now is sleep.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do.
No, that's classic. Oh, so you can see that?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Yeah, right. I really don't know what I'm doing here, but we'll see. So can you see that Google screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, yeah, these dudes, they send it, they're on motocross bikes with a passenger on a sidecar.
Yeah.
Oh, my internet might be a little bit slow. It's probably because it shouldn't be slow. I'll just put it in and see what comes up. Oh, yeah, this looks current. I haven't seen it, so we'll just see what happens. Pretty hectic, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesus. Jesus, that's hectic. So it's like sidecars on a motocross. Wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
we haven't seen a big jump yet. Yeah, here you go. There's the step up.
Oh, you're kidding. They jump these things.
Oh, they get bigger here than that, depending on the track.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so this is race one GP Loket 23. So I think it's pretty big, Austria and
Jesus.
Germany and
Yeah. So what, is that just a dirt bike with the sidecar bucket on
yeah, 450s.
it? Yeah, no, these guys they're nuts. I could never do that. I'll stick to my wheels on the ground, 2 wheels and on the ground.
Yeah, no, they're pretty nuts. It's really worth watching. If you just want to kick back and relax and watch something different.
Yeah, no, that'll be it.
I recommend it. Yeah, I actually we're having a bit of downtime and I just wanted to get away from the norm and watch something different, and that's when I stumbled across it. And I'm lying in bed watching it, and next minute I had one daughter next to me. Next minute I had 2 daughters next to me, and then the whole family was lying in bed watching sidecar cross.
Yeah, well, I'll have a look at that later on, but that looks pretty hectic.
Yeah, no, it's unreal. It's the first time I ever saw a motocross bike was actually at the Broadford Bonanza here in Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to a speedway swinger or a passenger, and he went for a go on it, and he said, "Oh, Jesus, you got to be fit for that, we're knackered." And I went and had a watch when some of them were out there, and they weren't getting air and that like these guys. Then when I saw it, I went, this is real sidecar cross.
Yeah, that's one thing. Dad and Mum drew the line at that. They're like, you're not doing sidecars and you're not doing road. You're not doing cross. What are they, quad bikes?
Oh yeah,
It's like they're the two they won't let me do. They drew the line at that.
Yeah,
there was a sidecar come and try day, like a road sidecar at Morgan Park Raceway.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, Dad, can I go try this?" He's like, "No, no chance."
Oh, so even roadside cars, they're not into that either.
No, I think they're more worried about just all the like. I guess you can get injured when
Oh
you
yeah,
crash a dirt bike, or like a normal bike, obviously. But I
yeah,
guess with the sidecars, it's just that much more weight
yeah,
that they, like, if it does flip onto you, you're definitely guaranteed an injury. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, Mum and Dad were just like, "No, no, no, you're not doing it." It's at least with a like normal motorbike, once you crash, the bike kind of goes away from you if you're
Yeah,
lucky.
especially in your discipline with your high speed corner crashes and that. Generally, if you're low side, you separate from the bike, which is pretty good. But I mean,
Yeah,
you're still doing it at 200 plus k's, aren't you?
yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel that fast, but then when you put it that way, it does definitely sounds pretty quick.
It's don't you feel though? Like I've gone over 200 k's on my road bikes and stuff that I've had in the past, and don't you feel? And even with dirt track, like at Bathurst, those corners, the radius was so slight that felt like you were going forever. And do you
Mm.
reckon it feels slower? Like everything sort of slows down. It's even though you're going fast, I don't know. It feels like you've got time. It's a bizarre.
Yeah. I guess the concept is kind of like that. Just the way I see it with me is when I'm going that quick, I'm just so focused, and when you're that focused, everything is kind of just in slow motion.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
right.
kind of the way I feel about it. Like I'm just so focused. I I guess like even in that in the new and on any Sunday, like you hear Danny Petroza saying it, like when you're really in the zone and you're focused, everything just feels like it's just slow motion,
Yeah,
and that's the best place to be, really.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think though. Like at a short track like Andera, it wouldn't matter how focused I am, I wouldn't be able to pull a tear off.
Yeah,
It's too short and
yeah.
technical.
Well, that's how I felt about the flat track nationals. Like the track it's a 20-second lap time. You have no rest. Like I don't know where those guys find any time to rest. Like I'm biting the bike. I'm still trying to get the thing turned from two corners before down the main straight. Like, I
Actually,
don't
that's
know.
the question. I must have got sidetracked. That's the question I was going to ask you earlier. We're jumping around a lot. Sorry, guys, but anyway, it is what it is, and that's the idea. We're just having a chat. Did you think those races felt long, or I mean, how long are your road races? They're like 20 minutes, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. Yeah. But
But over a
the
longer
track,
distance,
yeah.
yeah. So how did
And
you?
we had a bit of time to rest as well, especially like down the like tracks like Chang International Circuit where there's like a 900-meter straight. Obviously, it's not much time to rest in the big scheme of things, but it is still, you can take a breather and kind of loosen your shoulders a bit and whatnot. Whereas on at flat track nationals, there's like I said before, I'm still trying to turn the bike from down the main straight and trying to keep the front wheel down. So it definitely made the races feel like that 12 lap. It felt so long. I don't remember what the longest race, a 20 lap or something. No, I'm not. I don't really
Fif-
remember.
15, I think it
Yeah,
was.
15 lap. That's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah.
that race felt so long. I think I got to like halfway and I was like, "Oh, when's this gonna finish?" I was getting tired and I'm like mid battle with someone. I'm like, "Oh, when's this race gonna finish?"
Oh, you're
Like,
kidding.
arm started to like cramp up, and I guess with more experience on the dirt bike, I probably won't get that tired. But
Yeah,
I'm not used to holding on for dear life like that. Like trying to hold the front wheel down and hanging off and just moving around. You move around so much more on a dirt bike.
yeah.
So I guess probably with more time on a dirt bike, I can definitely get used to it. But yeah, with the little experience I had, handling that dirt bike felt like I was trying to ride a bull.
Yeah, right.
And that's
And
what it felt
and
like, trying to ride a fast bull for 15 laps.
and I'm not sure, was that an APO bike, the CRF?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
APO, CRF.
yeah, so that would have I don't know how much horsepower it would be putting out, but I imagine a fair bit. And when you think of so most of the dirt bikes will be, a 450 will be around that 65 horsepower, 60, something like that. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, depends how much money's gone into it or whatever. But when you think, it only weighs 90 to 100 kilos, depending how much fuel and that's in it. Yeah, they're bloody quick.
It just and like where the power is on the dirt bike compared to a road bike is so different.
Yeah, okay.
It's like
yeah.
with some road bikes, there's like especially with the 300s, all the power is mid to high. Whereas I felt on the dirt bikes, especially the CRF, it just feels like there's power all the way through.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's obviously if I ride other dirt bikes and like, if I ride more dirt bikes and test all of them, I'll realize where the power is on some and where there isn't on others.
Yeah.
But just compared to a road bike, it had so much torque. And I guess it just felt like it was like off the starts and down the straight. I'm just sitting all the way forward, almost on the tank, trying to just hold the front wheel down. But I'm worried about trying not to slide out and keep the front wheel down. It's just a lot more than what I had to worry about on road.
I think obviously when you get to the bigger bikes in the road, that's probably going to come into play a little bit more, isn't it? Because you're going to have extra horsepower on the 300s. Yeah, I think you probably need to get the revs right up before you start really feeling what that motor can do.
Yeah.
I imagine. Yeah.
Especially on the R6 as well, which I have been riding a little bit and back in Australia. Yeah, there's a fair bit of power from around mid range, and I have to worry about the front wheel and make sure doesn't come up too high on me.
Yeah, don't loop it.
don't want to loop it. That's not a way I want to crash. Yeah, I won't be living that one down.
Are you feeling like each time you step onto a bigger bike, you want to go bigger again? Like the power's not enough.
It only takes around like 2 hours, not even that hour on the bike, and you're used to the speed of it.
Yeah,
it's more what I noticed was the acceleration, just from the acceleration just feels like that's the main thing I noticed, not really top speed. And it's just like, wow, like this thing pulls. Yeah, and that's what I noticed jumping from like riding the 250 and then riding a 450. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. It just feels like this thing wants to loop out on me every time I open the throttle.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've listened to any of the pods, but we were talking, Tom Northey and myself, about the times between the junior 250s and the seniors on the 450s, and I think they were actually the top junior riders would have been up the front with the top senior riders.
Yeah.
On 250s, but then when you sort of think they're a little bit lighter again. Yeah. And they were probably getting a little bit more traction down. It sort of makes sense there. My practice track out the back's pretty small, and I've been out there on a friend's 250, and I reckon I was heaps quicker on that. Just lighter, easier to throw around.
Like watching those, comparing like what I was watching after I broke my finger, I was like, just sit out the rest of the day. So I was watching the 450 guys and the 250 guys. And like the 250s look like almost like a road bike style. They don't really have the bike kicking out sideways, and it's almost just power to the ground. And like it's like watching 300. It's like this average speed looks real high. I'm not sure if it is, but it just looks high, not really top speed. So I guess the time is in different places, but then all up it kind of just adds up to the same time. But maybe also the track. I don't know if it's considered short for dirt standards, but Appen seems pretty short.
Yeah.
So maybe if you go to bigger tracks, it would change.
Yeah. Or Forbes. Oh no, Forbes is about the same size, I think. No, not Forbes. Sorry. Where were they? Barley Ranch just recently, and I think the times were fairly similar between the juniors and seniors there as well. But I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that could be the case. The 450s, I think you do have to manhandle a lot more, especially right off the mark. Like, you have to be a little bit more gentle and sort of think of how you're delivering your power.
Yeah, well,
'Cause-
on the in 450B, they didn't really look like they were too concerned about where everyone started. So I kind of like once, like where we were all waiting before we go out onto the track, I just like almost do a race start out of there and just go straight to the blue groove. I'll just sit straight on the blue groove and just try to take up all of it because I figured out pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, this blue groove stuff's pretty grippy, eh? So. Oh yeah, it definitely was nice being on blue groove and being just it almost just didn't spin. It just kind of gripped and went. But then with that, I also had to worry about making sure the front didn't lift on me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's
So
how much do you weigh? Do you know your body weight?
yeah, 65 kilo.
Ah, yeah, so you weigh nothing.
Yeah, for a 450, I weigh nothing. But then
Yeah. Oh,
on the
yeah.
300 class, I'm like 10 kilos overweight.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think good weight for a 300 is around 55 ish, 56 kilo.
Yeah, okay.
And that'll keep you competitive. Anything over that, you're gonna start. It's gonna start costing you power. So
Yeah. And that mainly on the straightaways, I'm guessing.
yeah. So we have
Yeah.
to try like even harder, on like through the corners.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So is that sort of what led you to that comment earlier about getting too big for the bike now, or
Yeah,
yeah, so it's not just height, so it's mainly weight.
yeah, mainly weight, and yeah, I guess weight does also come from my height, so a bit of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
getting. I'm right now. I'd say I've heard it from a few people where it's just I'm good size and almost perfect size for a 600, and my riding style as well would suit a 600. So yeah, goal for next year is get on a 600.
What if you end up in Europe? What will you be on the 300, won't you?
Yeah, 300. But then I don't think Yamaha over here is pretty. They're pretty onto it with me and with my size and whatnot. So they'll probably be behind me, also behind the 600 ride. Hopefully,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
hopefully they don't put me onto a 300. But even if they do put me on a 300 in Europe, it's a ride in Europe, so it's a foot in the door into that championship. So
Yeah.
I'd still make the most of it, and I guess yeah, despite my weight, I'd put like, my best foot forward and try put out the best results.
So this is a bit of a weird one. What do you focus on with your racing? Like when it's coming to a race, what do you focus on? And then what don't you focus on?
Um, I focus on pretty much like before the race, like before a race weekend, I'll be pretty nervous leading up to it, and that's kind of just me. I'm not really thinking and visualizing. It's more just like just going through my head, just going through the steps of what I will do throughout the weekend and how I'll build up through the three practice sessions all the way through to qualifying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll watch my weight and watch what I eat and try not. I'll stay away from seafoods and Mexican
Oh,
on a
okay.
race week.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn my lesson on that one. So
Yeah.
don't eat
So what's wrong?
seafood and Mexican.
What's wrong with that?
Or seafood, I don't want to take the chance of getting food poisoning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And with Mexican food, I don't think my stomach just gets along well with it. So get a bit of a gassy stomach. Like, it's not. I love Mexican food and
Yeah.
all that, but get a bit gassy like the next couple of days after I ate Mexican. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
the two I'll stay away from a race week.
Yeah. Fair enough. I was
And
thinking
then
there was something there that I didn't know about seafood and Mexican, like it might make you put on lots of weight or something.
no, it's more of just like it's almost a superstitious thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, cool.
And yeah, another superstitious thing I do. I always get a haircut before a race.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I did it before every week, before every race week in Australia, and I still do it over here. I always go to get a haircut before a race weekend,
Yeah,
and
nice.
yeah. Then once we get to the race, obviously we go through all the free practice, qualifying, etc. But then yeah, before the race, I'll take around just half hour to myself and just visualize the steps through the race, and just visualize what I want to do, and yeah, just listen to music, and get into the zone, and yeah, just really it's almost like just the horse racing where they have the blinders on. It's just one
Yeah,
vision, and I know what I want to do. and just really, really
Yeah.
just get into my own space. And I think Dad understands that, and he doesn't really talk to me much before my race. Like he would give me my half an hour before I race and just let me get into the zone.
Yeah.
But then, like he won't. Dad's pretty protective as well. Like last year, he wouldn't let anyone talk to me half hour before the race. Like he's just like anyone came and tried to talk to me, he'd block him out and like, nah, you're not coming in. But
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. If that's what works for you and helps you get into the right mojo, you know, for the race to get the best results, well, that's what you got to do then. And it's great that he realizes that and supports that and helps you achieve that. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And things I don't focus on is probably just anything that's not to do with the race. I just try to not overthink anything.
yeah,
I don't want to overload myself with thoughts and overthink or anything. So anything that's not the race or that weekend, I don't really think about. Like I don't worry about what am I going to do for the next weekend, or what if this, what if. I try not to think of any what ifs. I
yeah.
really just focus on what I can do and what I want to do.
So no looking at hot girls on Instagram or anything and getting distracted like that, or
Nah, yeah. I try to stay away from that if possible.
yeah.
Yeah. Social media is definitely. I guess it does play a big part in, I guess, today's society where social media and influence is a big thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, it is something that a lot of races have to do, and we got to do our social media and put up posts, etc. But I just do all of that after the day is finished or at night when I'm laying in bed. I'm relaxing.
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout the day, I just try to stay away from it. It's not really. Yeah, it's not really something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, you do that all yourself. Do you have people around you taking photos during the day for you, or the photographers at the track that you get pictures of and that sort of stuff, or how's all that side of things work for you?
Well, yeah, in Australia, I knew a lot of the photographers, and they were kind enough to send me through a few photos here and there. Like Rob Mott, he was the photographer for Flat Track Nationals. He always used to send me through a few photos here and there that I can put a post up for. But yeah, in Japan, we have a team photographer, so he takes photos for the team, and then I'll get him that night so I can put a little post up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and what do you think about like doing your socials? You say you do it after, you don't want to think about it. That's cool, but do you actually enjoy doing those posts and reporting on? Does it make you reflect on the racing and what actually happened, or is it something you sort of dread and go, oh, yeah, couldn't we hire someone to do this?
I don't really dread it. I kind of just see it as part of the job. Like it's something, it keeps everyone that follows me informed of how it went and like what happened throughout the weekend, and yeah, just how things did pan out. And obviously I love, like, you'll always get the people that don't want to see you do well, but then the people that want to see you do well, they get I get comments saying good job, or like if I went well, or if I didn't go too well, just chin up and like just focus for the next race. And it's always nice to get those comments. But yeah, I did have someone. I've had a few people do my social media for me. But yeah, at the end of the day, it does sound best for the people that do want to support you when it comes from yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it. And it's not really something I dread, but it's definitely difficult when you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, with the like reflecting on my own race, it does like when I am like wording my post, I do think, oh yeah, well this happened, but I do most of my like reflecting straight after the race, or when I do watch the live stream of the race, I go, oh well, this is what cost me the win. Like the race in Thailand, it went down to the last corner, and I knew the mistake I made as soon as I made it, like, and which cost me the win. I was like, I'd like, as soon as I made the mistake, I was like, I made a mistake. That cost me the win.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and even now, I still look back and I'm like, oh, it cost me a win.
So what did you do? What did you do wrong?
So the second last corner, I was sitting in second. If I switched back to the inside, cut back to the inside, I probably would have been able to dip up the inside of the kid in first. But I was kind of got caught on the back wheel and like went to the outside line, which kind of
Okay.
just put me on the outside and a bit difficult to overtake from the outside. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, it's just kind of taught me just not to make that same mistake again. Which obviously I don't want to forgive myself for the because I made the mistake, it cost me a win. But if I made the mistake again, I won't be able to forgive myself. I'll be like, that's just stupid.
Well,
And making the same mistake
it
twice.
sounds like you like to learn from those mistakes, and it's great to have footage to be able to analyse. I think anyone that I've sort of role model or help coach or anything, I always say to them, if you can get photos or video, as much of it as possible every time you ride, that's what you look at, because you can pick up so much from looking at yourself doing it. Than in the moment, because in the moment you're concentrating, you're focused, and like when you make a decent mistake, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But if there's other things, like especially like with myself for years, and as that I've actually gone back to the habit. I'm not sure why, but I broke my ankles when I was little, and my right foot always really sticks out from the engine case off the peg. And when I noticed in photos, I'm going, I can't be getting decent weight on my foot peg like that. So it took a while, but I taught myself to put my foot straight and hug it into the casing and push down on the peg, and my lap times got a lot better. So
it's just like those little things that really add up.
Yeah, I think it does. And if you have footage to analyse, it's awesome. Yeah, I think footage is better than photos. Photos is good too, but if you can watch yourself in your previous race and that sort of thing, I think you can get a lot of really good insight from that. Is there places that we can watch your races? Are they on YouTube, like repeats and that sort of thing? Do they put it onto there?
So the old Japan races are all live streamed on YouTube. The cameras and quality isn't the greatest compared to what you would get in Australia.
Yeah,
but it's still you can kind of roughly see. Yeah, you can roughly see what's going on.
So we can have a look. So your class is JP 250, is that right? Or
yeah, JP 250.
So
I think
why is it called 250 and you're on 300s?
I'm actually not too sure. Like, I think the class originally started off with with the Yamaha R250s and then the CBR 250 RRs and the ZX 250. But then after that, it's kind of just trying to keep up with the Honda CBR 250 now. It's such a capable and fast machine.
Yeah, okay.
They've kind of just let the R3 in, the R3 can come in, and then they've let the KTM 390 in as well.
Oh,
so
390.
Yeah, 390. So it should really just be a almost like a super sport 300 class, but I guess they don't want to change the name. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, so if anyone wants to have a watch of Tayio, it's JP 250 class, and is it Japan National Series? What's the actual name? What would it be under?
All Japan Road Racing.
All Japan Road Racing. I'm writing it down because I'll have a look later too.
Yeah. Well, my last race where I made that mistake was at the BRIC Championship, which is in Thailand.
Oh yeah.
So that was at the Chang International Circuit, and I was racing the Thailand R3 Cup Series.
Oh yeah.
So that was a pretty decent race.
So is that one of the best results you've had for a little bit? You said when you first went over there, you had a pretty tough start of the season. Was that just getting used to the different bikes and the different tyres?
I think it was just a bit of combination of everything. Like, again, I'm probably experience, I guess, with the completely different tires, completely different tracks, and compared to some of the other kids, I'm probably not on as par equipment, which again, it's kind of just gonna I guess, shaped me into a better rider. But then, yeah, Thailand was kind of well, not really make or break, but it was really where I had to prove myself because I guess there it was a one make championship. We're all on the exact same bike. Everything is the same. We've had the same track time. So to be able to like beat kids that are a second quicker than me in Japan in Thailand with all of Yamaha watching was something I was really like glad I was able to do, because if I wasn't able to perform there, I wouldn't have anything to actually back what I was saying in Japan. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Awesome.
was kind of it was really just a confidence boost and just really just want to carry that momentum into the last 3 rounds. And hopefully I see some better results. I guess first 2 rounds were pretty subpar from what I expected. I guess Motegi wasn't too bad. Just a DNF in the race. I got taken out. But at Scuba, the third round, I finished 5th, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And how many bikes are in the race?
We actually get a fair few numbers over here to compete. It's at Motegi we had 35 or something, and then at Suga I'm pretty sure we had around 29, and then Scuba we had around 20, 28 as well, 29.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, more or less 30 riders.
Yeah, so yeah, 5th is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're really good.
I was definitely happy with it. And it's fair, especially at a track I have when these kids have been riding these tracks since they were
Yeah,
9 years old.
It's their hometown, so to speak, isn't it? So
yeah, pretty much. So
yeah.
it was pretty, for having the little experience I had, I was pretty happy with the results.
And on the culture side, do you get hassled about your accent or?
No, not really. I'd say my Japanese isn't too bad. I speak a bit of Japanese with mum, and
yeah,
I did go to kindergarten and stuff here, so my Japanese wasn't too bad. And yeah, most people can't even notice that I'm actually not Japanese.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
awesome.
yeah, I think I fit in pretty well over here.
And
yeah, I guess it's weird. Like in Australia, people see me as Japanese, but then in Japan, people see me as Australian. So it is a bit difficult, but I guess that's just how it is, isn't it?
And I was going to say the culture in Japan's quite different than the culture here in Australia. Anyway, they probably wouldn't hassle you like we would.
No.
Of course, it's all in jest, but yeah, I think Japanese are probably a little bit more polite. Would I be right in saying that? Or
yeah, no, Japanese are super nice. Like they're just probably the nicest people, and they're real. They're just really friendly. That's the way to put it. Friendly.
Yeah, no, 100%. They are. We've got some really great friends. Jimmy, Kim, and Yoko, their names are, and they live in Amsterdam. But Yoko's from Japan, and Jimmy Kim's South Korean. And the nicest people in the world. They're two of my favourite people in the and their kids, but they're awesome. They're just so nice, so polite. So always. I just love being around them. Feel great.
Yeah, well, that's just Japanese. Like I think they're super nice people, and they're not really like they are very judgmental. Like, the way they are in Japan is that everyone has to be the same, and if you're different, you're weird.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy to be that weirdo that's different. Like, doesn't bother me. So
yeah, but even in saying that, they're not going to sit there and point the finger directly at you and say
exactly. They won't say it to you. They just gossip amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas in Australia, they'll point. People will point it out to you straight away.
And as we say over here, I'm a Kiwi, but it's similar in New Zealand too. Would hang shit on you.
If you're not liked, people let you know in Australia.
Yeah.
In Japan, they just kind of gossip. So.
Yeah, cool. And your race gear and that, do you have airbag suits in that class, or it's just levers?
No. We do have airbags. In Japan, it's mandatory to have an airbag until you're 20 when you're racing.
Yeah, okay. After you're 20, it's your choice, is it?
Yeah, after you're 20, it's your choice, but until you're 20 in the Old Japan Championship, it's mandatory.
Yeah, I think it
which I
should.
think I think it's a good thing. Like they do help a lot when you crash. So
Yeah, should be
um,
right across the board. I would say any human life protected as much as possible. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Like I know in GP now and anything FIM related, they're mandatory. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
So all through the World Superbike Championship, they're all mandatory. I think yeah, I know in Australia they're not mandatory, even in the Superbike Championship.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely think they should become mandatory, and I think just the main thing that puts people off is the price tag. But I guess yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, it's almost just buying safety really.
yeah. It's a funny thing. I always used to buy cheaper helmets, and yeah, now I still don't buy the real expensive. Like 1,500 2,000 sort of thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'll spend 500 quite happily. Knowing the technologies in that helmet, and also the other big thing is just the comfort, like what it does for your confidence when you're actually comfortable in your gear. Like I think that makes a huge psychological difference, as well as yeah, probably being safer too of a higher quality item. But yeah,
yeah.
I got a fly helmet, and when I put it on, I just didn't want to take it off. It was just so
Yeah.
comfortable. I go so light, doesn't even feel like it's on, and yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, I think paying for good quality stuff is definitely worth it. For yeah,
Yeah,
all those factors. Safety obviously is number one, but yeah, being comfortable, and you hear it across most of the motorcycling disciplines. If you're comfortable on that bike, it doesn't really matter what setup changes it takes to get you comfortable. But as long as you feel comfortable, you'll be fast. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And yeah, that's a big thing they do focus on in Japan is the quality of the equipment. As you can see, like a lot of the best racing gear is from Japan, like Arai, Shoei,
yeah,
and yeah, well, yeah, Arai is probably held in the highest regard for its safety. So
yeah,
um,
right.
I mean, I'm fortunate. I'm pretty fortunate. I get to be wearing Arai helmets, and yeah, they're definitely comfy. And I've hit my head a few times in, and I'm still up and walking. So
Yeah, yeah, there's proof.
yeah, there's proof. They are crash tested.
So, are they a sponsor of your team? Do you get the helmets
Yeah,
through
yeah,
that? Yeah, awesome. And
yeah. Team sponsor.
what about your
Yeah,
levers?
leathers. I'm wearing Pride One racing suits. So yeah, they're another I guess sponsor of the team. So that they're yeah Japanese racing suits,
Yeah, cool.
but yeah, they're pretty protective. Yeah,
Yeah, all one piece. I'm assuming you're not allowed two
yeah,
piece, are
yeah.
you, in road racing?
No,
Yeah,
no, I've got to be one piece.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I was growing up racing flat track, everyone used to wear those the Kevlar one pieces, like Speedway one pieces. Even I had one or two.
Yeah,
I come back now after not being at flat track for a good 4 years or so. No one's wearing them.
they're
Like
mainly
everyone,
wearing motocross nylons. Most
yeah,
people
yeah. I'm
wear
like,
motocross.
what's happened?
I'm
Because
not sure.
back when I was racing, everyone had. I'm not sure the brand that used to be so popular. JW or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone used to have one of them, like custom made and everything. I thought that was so cool, and I used to wear
Yeah.
a one piece as well, one piece Kevlar, and But then I come back now and everyone's got these yeah motocross nylons two pieces.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happened there, why it's that way. I've got a two-piece levers that I used to wear quite a bit, but I've worn them out and
Yeah,
just haven't replaced them. But they zip together, and I always felt a lot safer in those. The
mm.
only downside is when it's hot, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, in Aussie that's a fair bit. So,
Yeah, well,
um,
I've seen a few guys on flat track that do wear leathers.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I saw one or two at flat track nationals, and I guess yeah, all the guys in America they all wear leathers as well. But yeah, if I was going those speeds on the dirt, I wouldn't want to be anything else apart from leathers either.
Yeah, yeah, especially in the American tracks. I mean, a lot of them are hard clay too, so it's pretty similar to bitumen. And if you're coming
Yeah,
off, I guess. So, yeah, I definitely want to be in levers as well with an airbag and a couple meters of bubble wrap around me would be good.
Yeah, it won't be fun coming up at those speeds. That's for sure. I've come up at some high speeds, but I guess I kind of slid along the tarmac and then tumbled through the gravel trap. But yeah, I wouldn't want to come off on the dirt at over whatever speeds they're doing. They'll be clocking 200 or so, wouldn't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
easy.
would.
Yeah,
And there's no gravel traps or anything to slow you down. You kind of just hit the dirt and start sliding towards the wall. So
yeah, or you hit the wall or you go up.
yeah. It's not something I want to be doing, and I
did
don't want to try it either.
did you see the Sammy Halbert crash? What was that last season? I think it was. Did you see that one where it just launched him in the air?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
that was wild.
a
Yeah,
shocker. Yeah, and
I've seen a few speedway crashes as well, and it's just insane. Like I guess the crashes look real bad on road, and some of them are, but most of the time the guys walk away, and I guess that's because of how much technology goes into the race suits and etc. But then with speedway and stuff, they're wearing like what Kevlar one pieces and a helmet, and you go straight into the wall. It's just insane.
yeah, you still, yeah, I think it's, and I mean, this is why a lot of road tracks, and well, actually, that we're having a bit of a track change up here in Australia for dirt track and that as well. They don't want concrete walls; they want runoff and all that sort of stuff. And it's similar to the road racing because, yeah, you know, if you've got no runoff and you're hitting a wall at top speed compared to having runoff and hitting a wall after you've slowed down after rolling for a couple meters,
Yeah.
the chances of injury are a lot less, obviously, in that second scenario. So I think that's what they're trying to achieve. And obviously with insurance as well, in motorsport. I don't know how you go with insurance over there. Is there any sort of cover, or it's basically you ride at your own risk, or you
Yeah,
don't
pretty
know?
much just ride at your own risk. That's the way it is.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just I think mum and dad cover all the insurance, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah, really just ride at your own risk. And obviously, if I do crash, it's not ideal, but usually I'm able to walk away from it. And even last year, I had a pretty hefty crash. I had a few hefty crashes last year, but I think I was pretty lucky. My body kind of slowed down to the gravel trap, and then I hit the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Like Queensland Raceway for Australian Superbike Championship last year, I had it off probably going around, let's say, 150 more or less k's an hour, and yeah, I was kind of tumbled through the gravel trap, and I only just made it to the wall. Which
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess if there was no gravel trap there and straight concrete wall, I don't think I'll be here today. So
Yeah,
I
no.
guess it does. It definitely does help having the gravel trap there and just a bit of runoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah, well, I think that's sort of what they want to do around dirt track a little bit, which is obviously upsetting a lot of people, a lot of clubs, and that having to
Yeah.
redo their tracks. But I mean,
Well, yeah, it's just safety.
it
Like
is
you
a
don't
hard
have
one, isn't it?
any. Yeah, well, you don't have any people that want to come ride if they're worried about. Obviously, even if you do put walls and make them make like take away the walls and put in like airbags and runoff, it's still going to be a dangerous sport, and it always will be. But
Yeah.
it just lessens the chances.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think that's a big key. Like you just hit the nail on the head. You're never gonna take death or injury out of a motorsport.
no, well, yeah, you can't really do it.
No matter what you do, and but you can, if you can limit the risk, then I guess you have to do it for everyone's safety because you were just saying it's actually funny. You were just saying that you won't get people coming to ride as much, if they think that it's too dangerous. But I actually think, yeah, you're still going to get people coming right because some people just
people
they just don't care.
either way. Yeah,
some don't. Some are
like the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant before. Just even if it's going to be a dangerous sport either way. It's definitely nice having the runoffs there, but yeah, people are still going to like Lakeside Raceway. I'm not sure if you know about it. It's a track up in Queensland, about hour. It's hour and a bit from the Gold Coast, but it's well known as the most dangerous track in Australia.
Yeah,
like average. When they used to race V8s and stuff there, it had the highest average speed in all of Australia, and with no runoff at all. Like you have a meter of runoff into a concrete wall.
Yeah,
and they don't race there anymore. No events are held there, only track days.
Yeah,
and like and even at the track days, people do have accidents, and some of them aren't good.
Yeah.
But they still get booked out every track day. Like it's still full every time. Like I've been there a couple times, and there's been times where I haven't been able to find a pit because it's always packed.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, people are going to ride either way, even if people say it's too dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Isle of Man's another one, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, perfect example. There's quite a few road races around the world. New Zealand have a few road races. A couple of them actually stopped now because of deaths, and they've sort of gone enough's enough. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we're human. Some of us, like a certain person on the other side of the camera, love adrenaline just a little bit too much.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it's what all the old people say. It's what keeps you young, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely what I say. So I guess I'm in that old category.
Yeah, well, it's just yeah, I don't know if it's the adrenaline or what it is, but even if I do end up not being able to race anymore, I don't want to just completely come out of motorsport. Like I still want to be a part of it. Like honestly, if I had to stop racing, I would, and if I had to start up my own shop, it would be something to do with racing. Like whether that be rebuilding motors or what it is.
So are you mechanically minded? Do you do a bit of that? Do you get in with the team and do the bike stuff at the moment, or even learning like it? Or
I don't want to toot my own horn, but no, I do. Yeah, I do. I would say I'm pretty mechanically minded, especially for my age.
Yeah.
Like I don't work at a mechanic shop or anything. I've helped out at some of my sponsors' shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year it was all me and Dad doing it, and a lot of the time Dad wasn't able to do it here. It was at work, and someone had to pay for everything. So
yeah,
it was me, and Dad would just tell me what to do, and I would do it, whether that be pulling the motor out, putting it back in, putting the bike back together. Yeah, so there's a lot. I'd say I'm pretty mechanically minded, especially for my age. And there are a lot of guys that I do race with that have no idea what they're riding. Like, oh yeah, like my dad will do it all, or the mechanic will do it all. Where with me, it was like, I hope I tighten that bolt because if I didn't, the bike's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, so, see, I actually prefer to work. Like I don't know everything, but I prefer to work on my bike for that aspect because then I know if something comes off, it's my fault. If it wasn't done properly, you know, if it's just come off because it's rattled off, well, yeah, so be it. But I don't know. There's something in my head that just goes, I'd rather go over everything and be responsible for that mechanical failure if it does fail.
Yeah, well, that's what I like. Like even over here, the team don't really let me touch the bike. I've got the mechanics do everything, but I do like being in control of what happens with the bike. And even though it does feel weird, but yeah, I'm another one of those riders that likes knowing what's happened with the bike and me knowing what I've done to the bike and whatnot. So yeah, some riders don't want to have anything to do with the bikes, whereas others love being involved with the bike. So, and yeah, I'm just one of those riders that loves being involved.
So whereabouts in Japan are you?
I'm in Yokohama, so not too far from Tokyo, about half hour, if that.
Oh yeah. Because it's actually, I've never been there. It's not that big a place, is it? Japan?
No, the actual Japan isn't that big of a place, like landmass wise, but then the population density. I think
It's
you
big,
can
yeah.
fit Japan into Australia 12 times, but then the population is, I'm not sure how many times more.
Yeah,
It's,
I know it's a
it's
lot.
3 or 4 times more than Australia.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like I think just in Tokyo, there's more people in Tokyo than there is in the whole of Australia. So
Yeah, right.
there you go. That puts into perspective what the population is.
Yeah. Now I can't remember. I was going to do a search before I spoke to you, but there is some flat trackers in Japan. I'm not sure whereabouts they are in Japan. Have you come across any of them?
No, I haven't yet. There is a few that I've seen. I remember there used to be this one guy that always used to do the Troy Bayliss Classic.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't remember what his name was, the Japanese fella, but everyone just watched. It wasn't the quickest, but it
He
just
does the
laid the bike down.
yeah, I can never. He did
I don't
FIM
remember his
last
name.
year.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what his name was.
I'm really
I
bad
got,
at
yeah.
pronunciation. It's have you found it?
I got it somewhere here. But he was. I remember watching him, and he was just stupidly quick.
He's really good at
Not really. It
he,
just the way that he rides the bike is just blew my mind. But I didn't know a dirt bike could be ridden like that.
he's really good at the limbo, so laying it down like you said.
Yeah. That's right. Where is it? Oh, it's here somewhere.
I'm trying to think of his. I know always.
And not too sure. I think I know where it's gone. But yeah, he does train at some. He sometimes is at the place that I'm at the place I train at.
Oh, okay.
That's I've never actually seen him, but I've seen videos of him at the place. So no, I can't find it.
Yeah, I can't find his name here. I'll put it in, and it's just coming up with the the funny because they have the auto racing over there, don't they? The gambling flat
The
track race.
auto
It's
races.
just coming up with all that.
Yeah,
Someone will be sitting there listening to this going, bloody,
yeah,
it's this, it's
pulling their
this.
hair out. They know who it is.
Yeah, sorry guys. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't quite think. And I always struggle, even when I listen to the FIM announcers. I think it was last year that he did it. I still struggle to say his name, but
Yeah, I know who he is. I just can't remember his name.
yeah,
There's always
yeah.
that. There's always that name, isn't there?
Yeah, it certainly is. But yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to come over and do a session down at their oval. I think because I don't. I've got a feeling there's only one. I've got a feeling there's only the one track.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I know, like the place that I train at is almost just like a flattened out area, dirt area, which we
Oh
kind
yeah.
of just put tires and cones out on
Oh
and
yeah.
just
Yeah.
slide around there.
Just like a dirt pan. You call it
Yeah,
dirt pan.
that's what it is. Yeah, just a dirt pad.
Yeah, right. And so yeah, earlier you said you do ride on dirt bikes over there. So that's where you ride on the dirt bikes on the dirt pad, or do
Yeah.
you go to motocross tracks?
No. That's where we practice. Yeah, the dirt pad. So that's Yamaha provide us all the bikes,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah. So that's what we just train on these little TTR 125s. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
So yeah, it's good to train on. We just kind of just practice bumping into and battling with each other.
Oh
And
yeah.
from time to time, we'll bring the 450 out, and not the 450, the Yamaha 250, and we'll just practice on that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So is that mainly racecraft you're practicing, or do you actually do like drills like around the cones and that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, it's just a bit of both, really. Like we'll practice some things here and there, just like laying the bike down and whatnot. But then we'll also practice just racecraft and where to pass and how to set up passes and whatnot. So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
mainly I'd say it's mainly just seat time.
Yeah,
Just being on the bike helps so much.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, the more you can do it, it's definitely such a thing as bike fitness, isn't there? Like you can run, swim, lift weights, strength train all you like. It's not really going to make you faster. It's going to help you stay on the bike longer, maybe, but I don't think it will make you faster. Being on the seat is what makes you faster. Yeah, because I went for a little experiment where I went back to boxing and I was working out pretty hard. I was training every day, apart from Sundays, and I went racing expecting to be heaps better. And I wasn't. I was so disappointed. I'm going, I feel so strong and feel so fit. Why aren't I faster? So
it's just being fit and everything is real good and it helps a lot. But being the best training is just on the bike, just getting the feel. That's the other thing with dirt. It's all about feel. I think that's the way I always saw it. It's all about feel and knowing where the bike is sliding and when the front is going. And that definitely helps in road.
Yeah,
like having good feel is really important.
Yeah, I think like you say, trying to read what's going to happen, and of course our sports, whether it's on road or dirt, are also high speed. It happens so quickly. But the more you're in tune with that, that's where you say something that someone else won't. So if you're spending 16 hours a week on a bike and someone's going, let's say 2 hours a month, you're just going to have a lot greater feel than that person. Have your AirPods ran out or you got sore ears? They're running out.
No, one side ran out of battery, but I've got two sides, so.
Yeah, I'm actually getting sore ears. We've been going for a bit, so I really appreciate your enthusiasm and coming on. And it was fantastic meeting you there at Appin, and hope to see you again at Tari.
Definitely. It'd be good to catch up again.
Good. Yeah, it will be. And thanks so much for coming on and having a chat and sharing your passion for motorcycling and racing, all things racing. And it's good to learn a bit more about you. And maybe I'll watch a bit more road racing now. I've got another person to follow. And it's cool. It's really good.
Great. Thank you, Matt. I'm definitely excited for Tari. That's the one, Tari.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can pull it off. And I was a bit.
I can finish both days.
Well, remember, just don't back off, just roll her through. I was going to say I was a little bit disappointed to hear that we didn't pop your podcast cherry that Mick from Talk and Chatter got in before we did. So
we actually sorted, we always kind of sorted it out. At Flat Track Nation was like, "Oh, you don't want to come on my podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, sweet."
Yeah, cool.
So, but this is my first time doing it over Zoom. So,
So, how long ago was that? Did he release that one? How long ago?
Oh, it hasn't been released yet.
Oh, he hasn't released it yet.
It's a race to see who can release it first.
I'm going to get on the edit now and I'll edit it, have it up tomorrow.
That's all right. Yeah, I mean, I'll be able to listen to it while I'm washing cars at work tomorrow. So
probably won't be that quick. I just put up the Aussie track titles recap with Tom Northey. So. It will be next week. It'll be up next week.
All right. Definitely. I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, sweet. I'll give you a message. It's been great, mate, having a chat. Thanks so much, and all the best over there. I hope you kick all your goals that you're chasing, and look forward to seeing how you go over the next year or so.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely keen to catch up again soon.
Yeah, that'd be good, and we can get a private practice day happening because I'm on the back of a camera a bit more now and getting better at it. So we'll do a bit of shooting.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. I'll be doing Brisbane Cup as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So if we can get a practice day going, that'd be sick.
Yeah, we'll tee it up. That'd be good.
Sounds good.
All right, Tayio. Have a great night, mate. Thanks again, and we'll chat soon.
You too. Thank you so much.
The Kelpie Flat Track Pod is brought to you by Kelpie, keeping you on track for longer. ShredDesign.co for the sickest jersey prints in the biz. Classic wheels, spokes and Otway hydro blasting, making your old girl look new again. Euroka fencing for all your raw fencing needs. We thank all our partners for helping get the Kelpie Flat Track Pod to you. Remember, flog that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep it sideways. Until next time, go Flat Tracker. Go Tracker! Go Flat Tracker! Go, go, go!